Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Wicked Bitter channel. My name is Travis. Thank you for checking out this video. Hey, real quick, you're a pro wrestling fan, right? You love WWE. That's the reason why you clicked this video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, let me tell you something. We are making moves here at Wicked Bitter. A lot has been going on the past couple of weeks. We're only getting bigger. The numbers are going up. And I'm telling you what, you want to be on board with this train because it is not stopping. We are posting every single week. We talk about Raw. We talk about SmackDown, sometimes NXT, but always, definitely the PLE, and especially, we got the PLEs coming up right now, the Bash in Berlin PLE this weekend. We're going to do a prediction video on that, and we're going to cover that PLE once it's done, so you don't want to miss any of that. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel, and if you have subscribed to this channel, like the video. Come on, what are we doing here? We got to like these videos. As soon as words leave my mouth, like the video. It helps the channel. It helps me. It helps get more people, more eyes on Wicked Bitter. It helps get these videos pushed out to people who haven't subscribed yet. That way we can grow our community here at Wicked Bitter. That's what we want. We want this to be the biggest and best place to be if you're a pro wrestling fan. At least I know that's my goal. My goal right now is to get to 1,500 subscribers by the end of the year. I think we can make it. We are less than 60 away from that. So do me a huge favor. Subscribe, like the video. Let's get into Monday Night Raw. We're not going to cover every single thing that happened, but all the key moments. Let's get into it. My friends. Oh, that was weird. I kind of sang that a little bit. It's been a pretty wild few days, man. So I don't know how many of you know or how many of you actually follow Wicked Bitter on Instagram, but over the weekend, I created a reel on Instagram. This is just a side little thing here. This does not have to do with Monday Night Raw, but it had to do with WWE. It was a Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan type of reel, and that reel went viral. It currently, as it stands right now, has 3 million plays/views. I mean, 50, 60,000 likes. I mean, it's blown up, and I've gotten a bunch of followers on Instagram from there. So I'm telling you what. If you haven't jumped on board with the Wicked Bitter brand yet, do not be late because this thing is moving. We are going. I'm not stopping for anything. You know what I mean? Like I'll post videos. I remember posting a video here on YouTube a few days ago. It was a SmackDown review, maybe. It hasn't even gotten 100 views. I don't know what's going on with the views on YouTube lately. I don't know why I'm not getting that many now for some reason. At least I would get a few hundred, couple of hundred, but my channel has been taking a little bit of a hit lately. Don't know why, because I still consistently post and all that kind of stuff, but regardless of what happens with the views, I'm not going to stop posting. I'm going to always post these videos. So you don't have to worry about that. Whether I have 5 views or 500 views or 5,000 views, I'm always going to post videos because I can see the growth this channel is heading towards, and that motivates me. So I'm not going to stop until we get to where we want to be. You know what I mean? So all right, that's that. And if you haven't followed Wicked Bitter on Instagram yet, definitely do that. We are posting great content there as well. We have that reel. We have that podcast that I was on last week, Turnbuckle Tavern. You might want to check that out. I actually popped in on Spotify earlier today. The audio is up on Spotify. So if you don't want to pay for the Patreon, which I'm sure a lot of you probably won't want to do because you don't know, you're not familiar with Turnbuckle Tavern, all that kind of stuff. If you want to at least listen to the audio, listen to the podcast, I listened to a few minutes of it just to see how I sounded. You know, I wanted to hear if my audio came out nicely and everything. It sounded great. So, and it was definitely a great episode. I enjoyed our topics that we had. So if you want to check that out, it's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. Just go to Turnbuckle Tavern, and in the description, it'll say, a guest, Wicked Bitter, Travis from Wicked Bitter. So if you want to check it out, support your boy because, it's been a pretty cool couple of weeks here. We got some things going for Wicked Bitter. All right, now let's finally get into Monday Night Raw because, there are some things to talk about. It wasn't like the most amazing Monday Night Raw ever, but it wasn't a slouch either. I mean, this was the go-home show before the PLE this weekend at Bash in Berlin, so there were some things that got covered, and then honestly, some of it I felt like was a little phoned in. Let's get into it. Right out of the gate, we got to wish our condolences here for the family and the friends of Sid Vicious. I grew up watching WWE in like the late 90s. Sid Vicious was around. I I didn't appreciate him as a kid because I was more focused on the other like top like notch like Rock, Austin, Undertaker type names. But Sid Vicious, man, had a hell of a career. From what I heard, from what I hear, he was a great guy behind the scenes as well. So unfortunate, and I think one of the last tweets, if not the last tweet he ever put out, was that he, would love to be in the Hall of Fame. Time is ticking. Vince McMahon is no longer in the picture, so maybe this opens up the door for him to get involved and get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Hasn't happened yet. I'm sure it will. It's just unfortunate that he won't be around to see it or be there to, be inducted in person. So either way, Sid Vicious, thank you for everything you've done, and rest in peace, man. That's very unfortunate. Monday Night Raw kicks off with the Judgment Day, the new Judgment Day, as they keep trying to say, the new Judgment Day. So Finn gets on the mic, he cuts a promo, and this is kind of like what we've heard before. Finn said that Rhea and Priest are the bad guys, that they turned their back on the Judgment Day and they got exactly what they had coming to them. So it's something Finn has said before. Just kind of reiterated it again. Liv Morgan got on the mic, said a few things. Dom gets on the mic, says that he's going to join the Intercontinental Championship tournament. So it's kind of just like a basic. It wasn't anything crazy. I mean, some shots were thrown to Priest and Rhea, but nothing, spectacular or crazy or anything like that. And then Rey Mysterio and the LWO come out, and it's like I feel like WWE just doesn't know what else to do with them, so they kind of just like throw them into this thing, and it's like we get this never-ending story of Rey versus Dom. But Rey comes out, calls Dom a jackass, and says that at least when Dom was with Rhea, at least someone had a set, and he's obviously talking about Rhea. It's that kind of whole thing went around, and then a little cheap brawl went on between the two. We go to commercial, and then we get back from a commercial, and then it's an 8-man tag team match. So it's the Judgment Day versus the LWO. Rey Mysterio ends up losing. He gets pinned by Dominic Mysterio for the second time, and again, it's because of Liv Morgan helped him out. So hey, Dom's got 2 wins over Pops. After the match, Judgment Day attack LWO, Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest come out, kind of fight them off, and then that's just kind of how it ends. I mean, the Terror Twins, they did the South of Heaven and the Riptide to Carlito and JD McDonough, and then they were standing in the ring staring down Dom and Liv and Finn Balor, and that's how that segment ends. So it's kind of like when I said phone it in at the earlier of this episode, that's kind of like what I meant. There was like no real like extra progress, and I could say that for a few other feuds which we are going to get into, but it definitely WWE I feel like they kind of ran out of things to do. It's whatever. We could have cut, we could have had the PLE this past Saturday and it would have been just as enough build as it was now. Like there wasn't anything extra added to any of this, so it was fine. I guess it worked. Man, I'll tell you what, New Day is teasing that split. I know what Xavier Woods said that they're going on 10 years strong together, loyal to one another. Kofi said that, when we have issues, this is something I love about us. We get to talk about it like mature, grown adults, 2 men just talking it out, our problems or whatever. They're definitely teasing this thing, and we didn't see Odyssey Jones tonight, so it makes me think they're going to keep Jones off TV until the time comes where Kofi turns on Woods, because I'm sticking by that, by the way. I'm sticking with Kofi and Xavier and Odyssey Jones turn on Xavier Woods. That's what I would like to see anyway, because I would like to see Woods do something on his own as a babyface, get the crowd support. I think he's got a great connection with the crowd, especially with the Up Up Down Down channel that he has on YouTube. Woods deserves a singles championship, but in order to get there, I think he needs to show that he can connect with the crowd, and I think that no better way to do it than to give him a very investing, like a very good a storyline feud here with Kofi Kingston. There's so much there that you can do with that feud. You can write it for months. Yeah, interested to see what happens there, but they're both separately in triple threat matches to qualify, I guess, to be inside of the Intercontinental Championship tournament. So they both have their matches. We're going to get into that a little bit later as well. We get Kairi Sane and Io Sky, I don't know why I was blanking on the name, versus the Pure Fusion Collective. And let me tell you what, man, props to Samantha Irvin, because the way she announces Pure Fusion Collective makes it sound a lot better than what the name is. but the name is still absolutely terrible. I cannot stand the name. And they get in that match against Io Sky and Kairi Sane. They end up losing. Kairi Sane and Io Sky win. Zelina Vega ended up showing up in this match, though. She attacked Sonya Deville on the outside of the ring from behind. Okay, I mean, I'm just not interested. I'm just not really interested in this. I don't know if it's because of the terrible name that the Pure Fusion Collective have. I don't know if it's because Damage Control is missing 2 members now. I don't know what it is. I'm just not crazy about any of it. I love Kairi. I love Io Sky. Vega. I've been pulling for Vega. But it's just this whole story, little thing they got going here, this little feud. I understand they need something for them to do, but I'm not really clamoring for it. I figured I would just mention it and cover it a little bit, but it didn't do anything. I got to read a little bit here off my phone because sometimes when we do these backstage things with the Wyatt Six and Bo Dallas, he says a lot of cryptic things, and I try to type out as much as I can to try to kind of make out what he's saying a little bit, but he does call Chad Gable a false prophet masquerading around. He says he's given Chad chance after chance. He talks about cutting the head off a serpent, a snake, which is obviously he's talking about Chad Gable. Bo Dallas does say that this is more than a reckoning. This is a purge. And then you hear the words, "There you are," and the whole thing ends. That was me pretty much just summarizing everything he said. It was a little bit more than that, but the whole, I would love them to be a little more careful with the word purge, because the first night the Wyatt Six showed up, that was a purge. That was a purge. But then since then, it hasn't been that way. Now, are we saying we're just purging American made? Because that's different. When I hear purge, I feel like I hear nobody is safe, And as so far, the only people that haven't been safe is American made. So, I don't know where we go from here. Uncle Howdy is supposed to have a match with Chad Gable, and it will be the main event later in the match, so we will cover that later on. But as far as that promo right now with Bo, it looks great. Everything is there. The bells and whistles, everything is there. The cryptic, cool message is there, but it's let's do something with it. You know what I mean? Let's not just keep giving us this every single week, and then we get the same stuff every week. There's got to be something different for us as fans, for us to be wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. We haven't really gotten that lately. We definitely haven't gotten that with the Wyatt Six. The first night, yes. Since then, other than Nikki Cross showing up from underneath the ring delivering VHS tapes, nothing else has really been too, out of the norm that we as fans expect. We got Drew McIntyre coming out, and remember, I keep mentioning this, the whole phoning it in type thing. Drew cuts a promo, and I love Drew. He always cuts he cuts great promos, but this promo felt more of they don't have much more else to add to the feud. You know what I mean? This is why I say phone it in, because he kept saying, he was talking about Punk, he talked about the crowd, how they, hypocrite, all this, the typical stuff that Drew's been spewing lately. He then mentions how he's going to whip Punk in the strap match. Punk's song hits. Punk shows up from, behind Drew in the ring. He whips Drew with the strap. And then these two get into a brawl. And then that's pretty much how it goes. Punk ends up getting back in the ring, and he ends up whipping security guards, throwing them out of the ring. McIntyre runs through the crowd, and then that's it. There isn't much else to say. We're there. This has been built for almost a year now. This is months and months and months of built of this feud. So there's not much else to say. We finally haven't really talked about the damn bracelet, finally, which even Michael Cole did mention that Punk tried ripping it off Drew's hand, but no actual promo really about it. So, I don't want to say that this feud is getting stale or boring, because it's not. I feel like we're still got more juice in it, but I think we need to figure out some more things to incorporate in these promos other than calling the crowd hypocrites and calling Punk a hypocrite and I'm gonna beat you lifeless, all this kind of we hear it every single week now. There's not much else to say. We understand you both are gonna rip each other's throats out. That's fine. So there wasn't much more else to say in this promo other than just the brawl, and that's what we get for the Punk and Drew segment of the week. We get Jey Uso versus Kofi Kingston versus Karrion Kross in a triple threat match. This will determine the qualifier for the Intercontinental Championship tournament. Long story short here, not much happened. It was just a match, and Jey Uso won. So Jey Uso advances. Not much more else to add to that. That's just what we got. Randy Orton comes out, cuts a promo. He cuts a really good promo, man. Randy has gotten better with the promos as years gone by. He mentions that, that whole World Heavyweight Championship, he wants a new legacy. He wants a new title, new legacy. He wants to win that thing. Gunther made it personal. It should have only been just a title match, but Gunther made it personal. Randy talks about how he was injured. He had that spinal fusion. He didn't know if he would ever come back to wrestle, all that kind of stuff. He appreciates the fans finally singing his song, even if it took 15 years. I mean, a good promo, really good promo. I feel like it ran a little long, but they did everything they needed to do, I feel like, in the short amount of time they had to make me actually care about the match. And honestly, even if they cut no promos or even just one promo, I would have been interested in Randy Orton versus Gunther anyway. This is going to be a great match. I cannot wait to see it, and it's going to be in the homeland of Gunther pretty much. It's home court advantage for him. I still think the fans are going to cheer Randy there, and I think the crowd's going to be electric for that. If it's up to me, that's my main event. It's got to be the main event for Berlin. Randy Orton versus Gunther. Cody versus Kevin doesn't need to be the main event. It really doesn't. I want Randy, I want Gunther, and I want Gunther holding that title high at the very end. Although, I would not be mad if Randy won. I just don't expect it to happen. But I do want Randy to win a title again, damn it. We get Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. This was a massive collision. You all know I'm not crazy about Braun Strowman, but the idea of this, I like. Two big dudes like this, two dudes who are actually pretty good in the ring for their sizes. The match didn't really happen, though. I mean, it happened, but it kind of got thrown out the window. These two brawled all around the backstage area. And then in the parking lot area, you got Strowman choke slamming Reed on top of the hood of a car, a shoulder tackle, and Reed slid off the car and then fell on the concrete. And then the moment of the night for me, oh my gosh. Strowman was on top of a car. Bronson Reed climbs up this concrete ledge, jumps off of it, and does a tsunami splash on top of Strowman on top of a car in the parking lot. To me, that was such a crazy visual. You'll probably see that in highlight packages for years to come, much like you see the Kofi doing that double leg drop thing off the barricade in the crowd in Madison Square Garden. It's going to be equivalent to this. You're always going to see that clip played. Strowman getting smashed by a tsunami splash by Bronson Reed. That was fantastic. Another quick little thing here, another triple threat match. It was Pete Dunne, Xavier Woods, and The Miz. It was a good match. I actually really liked this triple threat match. I thought Woods might sneak away. I actually thought Kofi would win his and Woods would win his, and they would have to face each other, but that's not what we get. Instead, actually, we get Pete Dunne winning this one, and much like the Jey Uso one, that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy happened. It was just a triple threat match. These are the winners. They advance, so it's Jey Uso and Pete Dunne. They advance and they qualify for the Intercontinental Championship tournament, and that's that. We got a Braun Breaker promo. We got to hit it. We got to talk about it. It wasn't the best ever, no, but that's fine. It doesn't need to be. It's Braun Breaker. We glazed that guy here. If you're new to this channel, you have to understand. The two things about Wicked Bitter, you got to always stay bitter, and you got to glaze Braun Breaker. And I'm going to add another one. The one thing you should never do, never count me out. Never sleep on your boy. I'm telling you right now, things are changing for this channel and for this brand, and it's going places. You want to get on board. But anyway, let's get back to Breaker. You got to get back to Breaker here. He said to Jey Uso, I heard that you were talking about me running your mouth. Just let you know, watch your mouth. I'm that dude. You know what I mean? If it comes down to you, I don't care who it comes down to, whoever wins the Intercontinental Championship tournament, whoever faces me, just understand I am that dude, and the worst is yet to come. Doesn't need to say much. You get the point. This dude is a badass. He's going to murder whoever goes up against him. Flat out. Doesn't matter. Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship forever. He will hold that title for 1,000,000 days. I wasn't going to cover the Terror Twins backstage promo because, like I said, phoned in kind of thing. It's kind of like repetitive stuff, right? And it's very basic. Nothing really got added. But basically, Ripley, Priest talk about how, yes, they are the bad guys. They are the villains, right? Like, we can be whatever you want us to be kind of thing. And that they're going to show no mercy to Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio at Bash in Berlin. And that's pretty much it. Cookie cutter. That's it. Black and white. Plain as day. Like, nothing else really got added. I understand you got to dot the I's, cross the T's right before the PLE. You want to end it on a strong little note there. But, you know, everything that was done tonight in preparation for the PLE this weekend, it didn't add much more than was already there. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like blowing me away. So that was that. And now we can move on to the main event. Main event was kind of basic. I'm not hating on the show. I'm not hating on any of this. But Uncle Howdy makes his in-ring Raw debut against Chad Gable. They're having their match, and then at some point here, American Made gets involved because the referee got knocked out, and then the Wyatt Six show up, fight them off. It's kind of a brawl. Ends up leaving Uncle Howdy and Chad Gable at the end. Uncle Howdy hits the Sister Abigail to Gable, and then 1, 2, 3, and we're done. That's it. That was the main event. Uncle Howdy wins. Pretty cool. I am at the point now where I would like Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six to move on from American Made. Can we do that? Can we have a different feud? Because I don't know what it is, but this feud, it served its purpose in the beginning, and I feel like it kind of ran flat a little bit towards the end. Good quality. I like everybody involved, but like, I'm ready for something else, right? Like I mentioned the whole cryptic messages and promos backstage from the Wyatt Six. I love those. But we need something else as a fan base, right? We need something else to really get involved with and actually care about. And I don't think a lot of people are like, I have to see what the Wyatt Six and American Made are up to. No, I think people want more for the Wyatt Six. And there are people who probably want more for American Made, but just keep them in two different directions. Let's do something with both of them, but away from one another. I'm down for that. All right, my friends. I appreciate the support as always. Please like the video. Please comment. Please share this stuff. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. I appreciate all of you. I really do. The support is unbelievable. I cannot thank you enough for it. And, we're just getting started. We're not anywhere where we want to be yet. So, love it. I love all of you. I appreciate all of you. What I was going to say was, I'm blanking on it now. I will be making a predictions video for Bash in Berlin, like I always do, a couple of days before. Maybe it'll come out. Maybe comes out Thursday or Friday, one of those 2 days. I would love to do an email video, though. So please send in those emails whenever you would like. I would like to see maybe if you want to send in an email about your predictions about Bash in Berlin. That'd be cool, too. I can make a video reading your predictions, and then I can make a video about my predictions. That'd be pretty fun. So, until then, guys, have a good rest of your week. We'll be back with another video. Of course we will. Have a good rest of your week. Until we eat again, my friends, as always, stay bitter.